We'll just start with a little bit of opening. Just play with the hands. Play with the arms a little bit. Take it to the side. Yeah, rest of the whole body kind of sway. Just come into a rotation. We keep going. So. And then last one, just into a kind of final wave. Just do a few stretches up, so nice deep breath in, stretch all the way up and back, and then releasing through the knees, draw the body forward. Feel free to really take your time with these, do them really at your own pace. Take a breath as you come down. Also feel free to just hang around a little on the bottom, especially on the first few. And just take your time really coiling up, stretch up. Breathe it in. Try and really look for length through the spine. Try and feel the weight of the upper body, especially just drop down to the ground. Right down. Okay, and last one, nice and good. Okay, good. Here we go, so side tuck. Just stretch right up to this line and then just draw it all the way over. Nice and slow back. And then the other side. And the other side. And a little bit, it's also depending on how your body feels. Also, you can take it to the front. You can also take it to the back. So depending on how you kind of feel the body. Just play a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And we'll just be one for the hips, just kind of hanging around. You just open the legs out, you drop the hips down, and you're going to have the arms like this. Just have them down here, and you're just going to kind of just start by loosening and just swing from side to side. Hopefully you can see that. Basically pull the arms out just as if you're kind of pressing out with the elbows. And just see if you can work a little the hips. Okay. Okay, and then what I want to do, one from here is really for the hips. I think we've done this before, probably a long time ago. You're going to sit down, this way down like this. You usually keep the hands in front of the body. And then from there, I want you to straighten the legs, which basically means you're going to pull the pelvis, everything back. And I want you to push the arms forward, so you kind of stretch. Forward, pull the spine back. Or lengthen the spine, pull the hips back. Stretch through. And then release towards the ground. And then in this case, just kind of come back up, draw it up, and come into this position. You're going to sit down to the knees. And then stretch forward, pull the body forward. So it's all done in motion. Reach forward, and come to the ground. Do this nice and slow. Pull the body up. I'll just do a few. Sitting down. And pulling forward. Hands in hips, pull apart. And just one more. Now the last one, just keep the hands on the ground. Yeah, and what you're going to do from here is just rotate up, sideways up. So one hand comes up, be like a wingman. Just reach right up to the ceiling. And you try and open the chest out. And as you feel, just change sides. Go to the other side. So just at your own rhythm. Just opening out. One side, reaching down. Opening out. Good. Just one more. Each side. And last one. Okay. Good. I'm just coming back in the hips. Just going to loosen the hips out a little bit. You see the backs of the knees, you probably feel maybe a little bit tight. The hips here. And just straighten and stretch. And the side. It's nice and easy. And the other side. And then just coming down to the toes, onto the heel, lifting the toes up. And then to the other side. Okay, that's good enough. The feet together. And just go to the ankles, knees. So let everything be nice and flexible. And both ways. Good. And then to the hips, just loosen up, nice big circles. Just keeping the hips down, just trying to really mobilize the upper body. Just play with both directions. And then just kind of taking a movement into the shoulders. This is a little bit like you've got someone pushing you on the shoulder. You're going to let it flow back, feel nice and fluid. You can do this to the front as well. So if someone's pushing you from the back, you've got this kind of, you basically roll through it. Yeah, that's it. That's nice. And then just go to the arms, just nice and free, very loose. And you might find this easier to play with one side and then the other. But just play with a kind of very loose form. And you can do just one side, or if you kind of feel go to both sides. It's nice and loose. Also just play with also the back. We tend, when we do this exercise, or when I do this exercise, tend to focus in the front. See if you can also open out this back room so the arm can be all the way through. I'm just trying to really mobilize the full range of motion in the shoulder. I feel the hands very heavy. And lastly, just the head, just working very slow in circles. Just imagine the top of the head. And just kind of orbit around the body. Really nice and slow. There shouldn't be any pain at all, hopefully. No. And just do both ways. And if you feel like it go, you can take the circle a bit larger, a bit bigger. Feel free. And then just working with a kind of figure of eight motion, very loose. And so if you feel kind of a little bit looser, you can also take this motion a little bit further to the back so that you're kind of rolling the neck to the sides. And then you're really working these muscles here. Or not working, but kind of activating. Good. And then we just do one to finish, just the hands on the back. You're going to close down the body, so everything kind of closes down. And you're going to stretch up and really pull everything to the back. close everything down. Yeah. Alright, so everything kind of opening out. Oh, elbows gonna come out. Oh. Just comes back. And depending on again how your body feels, you can also take this to one side a little bit more. You might feel one side of the body is a bit tighter. So you can also take it that side. Just feel what feels good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And just release it. Good. And then just check the hands in. And the feet. And hands like this. Rolling the arms. Bring a little bit of the body to the front. So it releases the shoulder. Centering the body, just like everything. And just make it a little bit smaller and smaller. Okay, very good. Okay, take a bokken. So, I'm trying to stick to this spot so it doesn't also focus all the time. So just play a little bit with the kanai, just in a kind of free way. Just start here like this and just coming forward into the kanai. Now what I want you to just play a little bit with movement. So I just want you to move in a kind of small area. Just play with the kanai, with the feet, and just kind of move around, just linking everything to the body. Just, in a way, try and stick to a kind of quite small area, which you probably are in, but stick to a kind of 2 by 1 meter. It's like you stick to one tatami. You do this sometimes in the dojo. Just explore different movements. And if you've got something, actually, if you've got something like a yoga mat, like I've got, also use the feet, like kind of exploring the sides of the mat. I'm trying to explore the space with the feet. So I'm trying to, the feeling, and this is like touching with the feet. So you've got to sense whatever's on the ground. I'm also kind of connecting to it. So just feel a little bit what's going on in the feet. Also trying to connect everything into the sword. And really feel the space in the back of the body. Nice. And just play a little bit with the sword now, just come into kind of low positions, high positions, change the hands. Yeah, let's play a little bit with it. Nothing very formal. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, good. Yeah, in this case, and when we do the sword, or almost all of the sword, we do it with 2 hands. It makes sense because the katana is the bokken and the katana is a 2-handed weapon. But just play a little bit with one hand, just so. It's also very nice training for the body to do everything on one side. So if we look at Aikido and we do things like Dojo, all the focus goes to one side of the body. So as I shared this picture of Sensei we've got in the dojo, where he's basically carrying an iron sword on one side of the body, and his body's totally balanced there. So feel that you can work one side of it. It doesn't
overbalance the body in another way. I don't want to kind of compensate with the weight of the body. I want to really include the sword into a kind of dynamic balance. A little bit. So. Good. Good. So we'll start with a little bit of movement. So just now you're just going to explore kind of horizontal movement with the sword. So just this, and feel free. What I normally do is start without footwork. Just kind of playing a little bit here, playing one side. But just as you feel kind of free, just move the body a little bit. The key is that all the body work's basically going to follow my intention with the sword. So just play a little bit with the body. Don't do too big movements. So just keep it kind of controlled. Just feel it's kind of connecting in. And for me, it's easier to explore one side for a little bit and then change. Depending on how you are, you might feel you want to kind of switch and alternate with the hands. Yeah, let's explore this. Okay, down. Nice. 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 Good. And also explore now with both hands. So just allowing both hands to be on the sword. Just watch the grip. So in this case, I'm not really focused on it in the sense impacting or striking. So in this case, the hands always kind of remain in the wedge three on the sword. I'm never really going to come to the point where the hands are gripping. We'll come to that later. Just allow everything to be quite fluid. Again, you might feel you want to kind of stick the feet on the ground for a little bit just to explore the body. But if you feel kind of connecting into the sword, start to open the movements out with the body. That's it. That's it. Yeah, good. 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 So if you think about it in terms of connecting to an object, it's really the kind of training in sword work or weapon work is to really connect into the object. You've basically got three ways of connecting into it. I can basically connect in a way where the sword leads me, so that the object does the leading and I follow. The second one is that I lock it all together. So I basically lock myself in the object, and me and it move together. So we kind of work together. The other way is where I basically lead it and that the object follows. So in this case, because you're not in control, but you're the leading party in this case, and the bokken's going to follow you. So in this case, really feel that you're the kind of leader. It's a little bit like having a dog on a leash. If the dog leads you, you're probably doing the wrong thing. So in this case, you want the bokken to follow. So just play a little bit. And usually how we start, especially in Japanese arts, is to basically lock the hands and the feet together. So the hands and the feet move together. So you find almost all the movements we do, like the first suburi, involve the hands and the feet kind of moving in synchronization. And then the hope is from that training, the body starts to be led, or the bokken starts to be led. In this case, so you can kind of access it. That's it. Yeah, you get it. Good. Good. Okay, and just play now with basically diagonal. So keep it nice and loose, and don't just watch for the ceiling fans. Don't think so much about cutting again. Just kind of nice and loose. So again, you might feel you want to kind of just settle the body down a little bit. So basically keeping on the spot. Just play with kind of diagonals. Now you've obviously got two diagonals. You've got slicing or bringing the sword up in this diagonal. You've got bringing the sword down. So just really explore these. And for me, this is a little bit like this exercise we do with the arm. So I should feel in a way that the shoulder is pretty loose and connecting in with the grip. So just play a little bit one side, go to the other side. Start to include the body in the movements. That's it. That's it. That's it. And if you feel kind of really connecting in, start to move the body. Working with, start with very simple movements. One side and the other side. Nice. Yeah, and it's a good point that John's doing. He's really including the other arm in the movement. So when you do with the one arm, or when you do one arm, there's a tendency that the other arm becomes kind of dead. So the other arm kind of does nothing, and it's going on dead side of the body. So feel that the other side of the body is also kind of including the body. It doesn't matter what you do with it, but feel that it's also connecting into the body also. So you think about Aikido, basically bodywork techniques. We never really just use one side of the body and the other side dead. So just think about That's it. Good. And I just play again with two hands. So just play now two hands. Bring in the other arm in. Just exploring in this kind of diagonal. Keep it very light. So So no real sense of cutting. Just kind of drawing the sword through the space. Nice. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Good. Okay. And play a little bit now because you're using both hands. You obviously most of the time in the Aikiken stuff we keep the hand on this part of the sword, but so feel that you can play with the hand coming out. So just play a little bit, open the movements out. And you also we tend to just move the left hand, but you can also use the right hand. So some of the variations we do with the Ken work also mean I'm going to kind of release the right hand. So just play a little bit now. Different hand positions, different moves. You're not really focusing on functionality, just really focusing on movements. So, there. Nice, 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 nice. Nice, great. Nice. Good. Good. And we'll start to look at a little bit more functionality. So basically using the sword as a sword now. So just play a little bit with basically different stances. I'm just going to start with one basic. The kama is just the sword at the side. We never do this in Aikido because we're actually working with the bokken. But if you think in terms of katana work, just keep the sword at the side here, and then I just want you to kind of come forward into it. Don't think about drawing the sword from a scabbard. This is a kind of limiting movement. It's not limiting. There's lots of possibilities with it, but it's really technical in terms of how you do it. So I don't be concerned with it, but just start from a position where the sword's basically hanging at the hip this way, and feel free. You can move in this position. Make everything loose, a bit stiff. So keep everything loose, and then just feel you can move to different positions. And just don't think too much about striking movements. Just think about rolling through different positions. So you can basically mix now these kind of horizontal moves and these diagonals. Just start with your sword basically, so just hanging on the left hip. And then just feel that you can kind of roll into a movement. Keep it very light. Just kind of 2-3 moves and then come back to the position. And just keep everything in movement. It should be nice and fluid and free. Okay, good. Let's see. Oh, ouch, Adrian.
I cut my thumb earlier.
I got the same. I've done the same thing. Very nice. So, yes. Good. And then just now working with different kamae. So I'm just going to start with with this position, kind of in a Chudan kamae, and just again work with movement. Hopefully the camera's not flicking to me. Just work with movement here, and then again, just feel that you can go into movements very lightly or very stiff. So try and keep it a little bit more fluid, much more fluid than I'm doing it. So very light. And don't really focus on again, kind of cutting, impacting. Just focus on movement. So just starting with a nice basic position. Keep it in movement. And also feel that you can go to one side of the body also. Just kind of roll through the movements. Keep it nice and light. Nice. Very good. Good. Okay, now I just want you to play with different kamae, so come into different positions. So just play, you've got the Chudan kamae, you've also got all these low kamae, so feel that you can bring the sword low. Again, if you can keep everything a little bit in motion, you feel like it, so keep it kind of light in motion. And then just feel you can again just move through different moves. Just keep it nice and light again. Again, no real sense of impacting. Just working a little bit now from different positions. Just exploring a little bit of kind of free body work. And you've got low kamae, you've also got high kamae. Just play with anything really you can think of. Keep everything nice and light. And the kamae should give me freedom. It shouldn't give me real restriction. So the kamae should be a position that I can move freely from. It shouldn't really be a kind of trap, which it usually is when I find. So. Nice. That's it. Good. Okay, so we'll go a little bit more kind of formal. In this case, the beauty of kind of freedom is you've got real sense of freedom. You can really explore. The trap of it is I can do anything. So I can do lots of things which are in and away kind of non-functional later. But it's good to also explore different possibilities of movement because we tend to be really restricted with, especially sword work. So we tend to kind of restrict the movements. And we're going to go a little bit form on that. The beauty of form training is that I can really go to one problem and explore it really, really deeply. So because I'm doing the same movement over and over again, I can really explore the problem very deeply. So what I want you to do now is we're just going to do really simple slicing movements. You're going to start in the right side, just slice out this way, and then just roll through, cutting down. And then just come back into the kamae this way. So it's really 3 movements. The kamae, the slice out, and then the kyokumen forward. Yeah, and then drawing back into the kamae this way. So really take it kind of step by step. Slice out, cut forward, and then back into the kamae. That way. And just keep kind of exploring it. Good. And when you go to this kind of form training, there's also a kind of change in mentality. When I'm doing this kind of freestyle, this kind of movement, my movement's a bit like a kind of dancer. So I'm trying to, it's not really about self-expression, but it's about exploration, exploring the body. When you do these kind of form training, my feeling is to go to like a surgeon. So you've got to be like, in a way, you've got to be like scalpel precise. So imagine you're kind of cutting someone's body. You can't be kind of, it's kind of somewhere there, I kind of cut the body like that. But think about, you're going to really be really precise with it. If you've got a real katana, this is great training to do with a real katana because you've got like a 3-foot razor blade. So you've got to really have the sense of precision with the movement, precision with the movement. There's all these stories of people, they buy their first katana and the first thing they do is chop their own ear off, or they put their sword through their hand. So the very first thing they do is cut themselves. So really be precise with these movements and have this kind of mentality where I'm going to really be coming into a kind of very, very precise form. And then back. So it's kind of filling everything with a real kind of sense of precision. So it's just a slight kind of change in mentality. The best way for me to think about it is like a surgeon. That's it. Yes. Nice. Okay, and then just explore this up. It's the same beginning. This is a little bit like a Motenura version. So you've got to slice to the side now. And now what you're going to do is roll the whole body through and then slice to the rear. And now you're going to slice, you're going to cut on the right, on the left side. So you, hopefully you can see, you go this way. And then from here, slice everything through. The whole body comes through. And then cutting down on the left side, this way. So again, nice and precise. Slice out, and then I roll the whole body through and cut down on the left side. So, 1, 2, and then back into the kamae. Got it. Roland.
Michael, could you show please the slice movement again? I want to see where the slice movement ends. Is it in a 55-degree angle, or is it is a bokken right?
Yeah, in this you can adapt this a little bit when I do these. I'm basically going to do this. So I'm going to allow the sword, if I do from this side, as I finish the form, I'm going to get the right angle. That way. So I'm basically in that kind of position. So I'm allowing the sword to kind of come out to the side this way.
Okay.
That way. You can obviously when you do these moves, because this is slicing really to the side, my feeling's really to slice out to the body that way. You can obviously when you do these slices, slice in a way to the front this way.
Yeah.
So you've got that kind of option with it. In this case, when I do this one to the side, it's really allowing the sword to kind of come through this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this case, really allowing that kind of connections coming here and then coming through that way.
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit like a 90-degree angle.
Michael?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You go here and then you continue with things
Yeah.
here and then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in this case, some of you are doing. I'm going to show a variation. Some of you are doing a different form, which is totally fine. I'm going to steal it from and do it next. So in this case, when you do this one, think about shihonage. So you come this way out, and then what I'm going to do here is roll in, and then I'm going to change the direction. So I'm going to cut to the rear. So I end up on the left side. Some of you are doing it another way. We'll do this one next. So you go this way, and then think about coming into shihonage. So you roll underneath. And then over to the back this way. And just come here. So think about coming in for shihonage. You basically come out to the side, and then you will step through, roll to the back, and then cut down. So think about a little bit like a shihonage, or a lot like a shihonage. You come here.
Oh, yes.
Turn right, like that. Give it a try. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Got it. Good. Nice. Yeah. Good. Good. And then just try this variation. Some of you are doing it. It's also a nice variation to do. So as you come through, you're going to do this. Now this is basically an extension of the first one. So the first one to come through this way and slides down. I'm now going to do the same movement. I'm going to do it with a big rotation. So you're going to do now slice out to the side, and then I'm going to bring the whole body through. The sword's going to come above the head. I'm going to rotate to the back and then cut down this way. This is a nice one because everything happens above the head. So it goes sideways. Let the sword come to the head, rotate in, and then slice down this way. So this is a big rotating movement. Hopefully you've got the space for it. Got just the space. That. It's a nice big movement. That's it. Very nice move. And in this side, you're going to finish on the right side for this one. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, in this case, the handwork's a little bit different. So if you think about this one, the variation, which is like a Shibanagi, I basically roll the arms this way through the movement. So the arms come into this position, this way and then through. In this case, when I do this, the arms stay kind of crossed, and I find the head with the right hand. So I'm coming into a different. This is a little bit the difference between an Ikkyo movement and a Shibanagi. So the Shibanagi is a bit like coming from the ground this way, and the Ikkyo is coming from the ground but rising through the move this way. So for me, this movement's got a clear link to Ikkyo. Goes here, this. So I've got this kind of position with the body, and then I'm doing that movement in motion. So I'm doing a rotation at the same time. It's into this position, and then getting back with the body. So this is a bit like an Urawaza Ikkyo. So it goes here. Here, that. Try. So it's all going to happen a little bit above, but just in front of the head. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Got it. Yeah, and always inherently the Urawaza is more difficult because you're doing a rotation at the same time. So just play a little bit with this. It's nice to do. Just give yourself a kind of pause between the movements. So you go here, and then feel you're basically going to create a split in the movement. So you come in there, and I find the top, and I find the movement here. I feel that you're really in balance, and then draw through the movement here. So it's a kind of false pausing movement. It doesn't really exist, but just find this move, and then feel that you can really find the stability in the movement there, and then sink down through. So just give that a try and just feel where the body is as you make that rotation. Very difficult because everything's rotating up. Keep the weight down, but just if you can establish a real clear connection to the ground. Yeah. That's it. Good. Nice. Yeah. Very nice. Wow. Yeah. Great. And then just the last minute or so, just really play with. Oh, I'm a bit all over the place. 1 second. Wait, 1 second. I just want you to start now mixing them all in together. So, yeah, hopefully it's better. when you do these, just start to mix them all in there. So a little bit static, so hopefully you can see. So you're gonna just feel you can slice out, roll through any way. Just play a little bit with it. There. Roll out to the side. Rolling through. Just play a little bit with it. And basically just explore these different kinds of options. So you can play a little bit with the angle of the slice and play with basically the second movement. You can do lots of different things from this move. So just open it out a little bit. And if you like, just stick to these 3 variations we've done. This way. This way. Or this way. Nice. Okay, and we'll finish where we started. Just try this. Again, don't think about doing the either, but I'm just going to have the sword placed at the side. Now do this in movement, so just kind of walk around. It's like you're walking on the street with your sword, like you do. You come here, and then what I want you to do is just come into the movement, whichever one you choose, and you just come back into this position. Find a nice kind of balanced position. Move around nice and lightly. You kind of walk around. You feel like it. You can also do a slice in any direction now, so feel that the option is open to slice in any direction, especially for the back. Going through. Don't think too much about the idol. Just a bit more interested in being a bit free. That's it. Very nice. Very nice. Great. Okay, we'll stop there before we got full samurai mode goes there. Right. どうもありがとうございました。
どうも
ありがとうございました。
Right, very good. So.
Very good.